everyone. As promised, I said that I had a book haul to do. I ordered these books from bookoutlet.com. I ordered them on, I think it was a Sunday, and then after, I think it was like 8 or 9 days they came, which was, really good, so I was happy with that. I just want to show you what I'm reading currently. In my last video, you might have seen that I was reading a book called The Raven Boys. I'm actually reading the sequel called Dream Thieves by the same author, and this is going to be a series apparently of 4 books from what I saw on Wikipedia. Not sure if that's accurate or not, but that's what they were saying. So that's what I'm currently reading. And there's a glare because it's a library book, so I think the cover's really shiny. But anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm filming this on my phone. My battery on my phone's really low, so I don't even know how long this will last. But I'm just going to get started, show you my book. I'm going to read the inside jacket, and maybe something will interest you. Okay, so first book is, I've heard a lot about this on YouTube. It's called Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore, a novel, and this is by Robin Sloan. And this is what the inside says. The Great Recession has shuffled Clay Jannon out of his life as San Francisco web design drone, and serendipity, sheer curiosity, and the ability to climb a ladder like a monkey have landed him a new gig working the night shift at Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore. But after a few days on the job, Clay begins to realize that this store is even more curious than the name suggests. There are only a few customers, but they come repeatedly and never seem to actually buy anything. Instead, they check out impossibly obscure volumes from strange corners of the store, all according to some elaborate, long-standing arrangement with the gnomic Mr. Penumbra. The store must be a front for something larger. Soon Clay has embarked on a complex analysis of the customer's behavior and roped his friends into helping him figure out just what is going on. And when they bring their findings to Mr. Penumbra, it turns out the secrets extend far outside the walls of the bookstore. With his irresistible brio and dazzling intelligence, Robin Sloan has crafted a literary adventure story for the 21st century, invoking both the fairy tale charm of Haruki Murakami and the enthusiastic novel of ideas wizardry of Neil Stephenson or the young Umberto Eco, but with a unique and feisty sensibility that is rare to the world of literary fiction. Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore is exactly what it sounds like, an establishment you have to enter and you will never want to leave, a modern-day cabinet of wonders ready to give a jolt of energy to every curious reader, no matter the time of day. Okay, so that's this book. Next book. This is actually, this is actually a sequel to a book called Ruby Red, and this is called Sapphire Blue by Kirsten Gier, and this is a trilogy, and this is just what the back of the cover says. If you haven't read the first one, it might not make sense, but anyways. Why Did You Kiss Me? Gwen's life has been a roller coaster since she discovered she was the Ruby, the final member of the time-traveling Circle of 12. When not searching through history for the other time travelers and asking for a bit of their blood, gross, she's been trying to figure out what all the mysteries and prophecies surrounding the circle really mean. It's not easy when a secret society, a dangerous count, and her own time-traveling partner, Gideon, are determined to keep her from the truth, especially since Gwen can't decide whether Gideon really believes she's a traitor to the circle or might actually be on her side and creeping into her heart. So that is what the book looks like. Okay. Then I got Pathfinder by Orson Scott Card, and this is the same author that does Ender's Game, the series Ender's Game. So this is what the inside says. A powerful secret, a dangerous path. Rig is well trained at keeping secrets. Only his father knows the truth about Rig's strange talent for seeing the paths of people's pasts. But when his father dies, Rig is stunned to learn just how many secrets father had kept from him. Secrets about Rig's own past, his identity, and his destiny. And when Rig discovers that he has the power not only to see the past, but also to change it, his future suddenly becomes anything but certain. Rig's birthright sets him on a path that leaves him caught between 2 factions, one that wants him crowned and one that wants him dead. He will be forced to question everything he thinks he knows, choose who to trust, and push the limits of his talent, or forfeit control of his destiny. If there was a noise just now, I'm sorry about that. That was an app notification. But, okay, so that is Pathfinder by Orson Scott Card. Next up, another book that I've seen a lot of people talk about is Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. I hope I didn't destroy that. Okay, and this is what it says. Alina Starkov doesn't expect much from life. Orphaned by the border wars, the one thing she could rely on was her best friend and fellow refugee Mal. And lately, not even that seems certain. Drafted into the army of their war-torn homeland, they're sent on a dangerous mission into the Fold, a swath of unnatural darkness crawling with monsters who feast on human flesh. When their convoy is attacked, all seems lost until Alina reveals a dormant power that not even she knew existed. Ripped from everything she knows, she is whisked away to the royal court to be trained as a member of the Grisha, the magical elite led by the mysterious Darkling. He believes she is the answer the people have been waiting for, the one person with the power to destroy the Fold. Swept up in a world of luxury and illusion, envied as the Darkling's favorite, Alina struggles to fit into her new life without Mel by her side. But as the threat to the kingdom mounts, Alina uncovers a secret that sets her on a collision course with the most powerful forces in the kingdom. Now only her past can save her, and only she can save the future. So, Shadow and Bone. Okay. Next book is The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Laurie King, and this is actually like almost like it's about Sherlock Holmes and this girl who ends up becoming his apprentice, but I thought it was a really interesting take, especially since if you haven't checked it out on BBC, Sherlock, modern day Sherlock, it is amazing, it is hilarious. Benedict Cumberbatch, and I think it's Martin Freeman, is that right? Amazing actors, amazing storylines, and really funny. I think you'll really enjoy it. Anyways, this is what it says on the back. In 1915, Sherlock Holmes is retired and quietly engaged in the study of honeybees when a young woman literally stumbles into him on the Sussex Downs. 15 years old, gawky, egotistical, and recently orphaned, the young Mary Russell displays an intellect to impress even Sherlock Holmes and match him wit for wit. Under his reluctant tutelage, this very modern 20th century woman proves a deft protege and a fitting partner for the Victorian detective. In their first case together, they must track down a kidnapped American senator's daughter and confront a truly cunning adversary, a bomber who has set up tripwires for the sleuths and will stop at nothing to end their partnership. Full of brilliant deductions, disguises, and dangers, this first book of the Mary Russell Sherlock Holmes mysteries is wonderfully original and entertaining, absorbing from beginning to end. So this is actually a book series. I'm just going to try this one, see if I like it, and kind of go from there. Okay. This is a nonfiction book called Fiction Ruined My Family, a memoir by Jeanne Darst. Okay. It says, the youngest of 4 daughters in an old, celebrated St. Louis family of prominent journals and politicians on one side, debutantes and equestrians on the other, Jeanne Darst grew up hearing stories of past grandeur, and the message she internalized as a young girl was clear. While things might be a bit tight for us right now, it's only temporary. Soon her father would sell the great American novel and reclaim the family's former glory. The Darts uproot themselves and move from St. Louis to New York. Jeanne's father writes one novel and then another, which don't find publishers. This, combined with her mother's burgeoning alcoholism, I'm reading way too fast. I need to slow down. Okay. Nightly booze-fueled weepathons, reminiscing about her fancy childhood, leads to a financial disaster and divorce. And as Jeanne becomes an adult, she is horrified to discover that she is not only a drinker like her mother, but also a writer like her father. At first and for years, she embraces both activities, living in an apartment with no bathroom, stealing food from her babysitting gigs, and raising rent money by riding the subway topless and performing a one-woman show in her living room. Until gradually she realizes that this life has not been thrust on her in some handing down of the writing mantle way. She has chosen it, and it is a questionable choice. For a long time I was worried about becoming my father, she writes. Then I was worried about becoming my mother. Now I was worried about becoming myself. Ultimately, Darce sets out to discover whether a person can have their writing without the ruin, whether it's possible to be sober and creative, ambitious and happy, a professional author, and a parent. So this looks really interesting. I'll have to do a review on it, tell you what I think, and since it's a memoir, I'm really interested. Okay, 2 more books. This is called The Archivist by Martha Cooley. And this is not to be confused with the book called The Archive by, I think is it V.E. Schwab? Is that right? I don't know, but I ordered that book too, and hopefully I'll get that one soon. But this is, a different book. But it says, Matthias is a librarian, a man of orderly ways, responsible for safeguarding a sealed cache of T.S. Eliot's letters. Roberta is a young poet with an unabashed and oddly intense interest in the letters. What begins as a battle of wills soon evolves into an unlikely friendship, a relationship that only unsettles Matthias's solitary life but forces him to confront long-buried memories of his wife, her mental breakdown, and the dissolution of their marriage. Propelled by startling truths hidden and revealed, this extraordinary novel draws richly upon the poems of T.S. Eliot and the intellectual and social climate of post-war New York City, as it explores the redemptive power of art and the challenge of forging a moral and meaningful life in the modern world. I really like books when they have like some literary connection to, if it's Shakespeare or poet or some obscure work that they talk about. I just love books like this, so I think this will be really interesting. And not last but really, guys, I can't even think of that saying. Not last but not least. This is so embarrassing. Not last but not least. Anyways, oh my gosh. This is horrible. This is what happens when you're supposed to have a snow day. It gets canceled and you have to go into work. Oh well. Anyways, this is an autobiography or biography? Biography, I think. Anyways, this is a novel of Zelda Fitzgerald by Therese Ann Fowler. That's what it looks like. And I just got this on a whim. I thought it was interesting. But it says, when beautiful, reckless Southern belle Zelda's sire meets F. Scott Fitzgerald at a country club dance in 1918, she is 17 and he is a young Army lieutenant. Before long, Zelda has fallen for him, even though Scott isn't wealthy or prominent, or even a Southerner, and keeps insisting, absurdly, that his writing will bring him both fortune and fame. When he sells his first novel, she optimistically boards a train to New York to marry him and takes the rest as it comes. What comes here at the dawn of the Jazz Age is unimagined success and celebrity that will make Scott and Zelda legends in their own time. Each place they go becomes a playground. New York City, Long Island, Hollywood, Paris, and the French Riviera, where they join the endless party of the glamorous, sometimes doomed, lost generation that includes Ernest Hemingway, Sarah and Gerald Murphy, and Gertrude Stein. Everything seems new and possible, but not even Jay Gatsby parties go on forever. Who is Zelda other than the wife of a famous, sometimes infamous, husband? With brilliant insight and imagination, Therese Ann Fowler brings us Zelda's irresistible story as she might have told it. So this looks really interesting. I'm excited to give it a try. Apparently I need to go back and relearn what autobiography and the difference of biography means. I think it's autobiography? I think. Oh Lord, that's embarrassing. Anyways, so those are the 8 books that I bought from bookoutlet.com. I hope you enjoy my haul. I know it wasn't that quick, but anyways, that's it for now. I have some more books on my wish list on some different sites, so hopefully I'll be ordering some more books, but I need to get through some library books first and start into some of those before I think my husband's going to let me order more. Or he probably will let me order them, but I just need to kind of take a break, read some books I have first, and then buy some more. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope maybe you found some books to check out. And I hope you guys all have a great night. Thanks! Bye!